Alright, muri yeZimbabwe kusangana kwatiri kuita zvakare ipo pano paZemuNews update apo patinoda kupa first hand update anonga ari kuitika munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. So kana uri mutsva usabve pano usina kusubscribe, kulike nekushare. So tine mashoko etiri kutambira according kubva kuna Comrade Soko vari kutaura iwo kutoti Vice President Chiwenga vakagara meeting nema retired generals. Sezvo zvetiri kuona kuti vamunangagwa vakagarawo meeting nema retired generals sort of like ana hineri muchena war veterans aya vari kunetsa vari kuita se takaona vakada kumbopa chiwoko muhomwe kuma war veteran nema retired generals vakaramba zvinhu zvakafanana izvozvo. So tiri kuona panapa muri yeZimbabwe zvinhu zvinomira zvakanaka because tiri kunzwa kuti Vice President Chiwenga vakagara meeting nesemo war veteran nema ex combatants tisikoziva kuti vanga vari kuronga zvipi, sezvo tiri kuona kuti akasiki kutanga kugara meeting wakatombogara futi nema current generals meeting yacho ikazotowana temba muliswa kuti yakazoenda kunoperera kumba kwa Vice President Chiwenga. Tisikazive kuti so tiri kuona veruzhinji vari kuita dzungu rekuti general vangadai vadai so general vanga vadai so aiwa zvinhu hazvinzwaro muri yeZimbabwe zvinhu zvinoitwa lola then kana poto yaibva yozongorohwa ka1 muri yeZimbabwe ndo zvinoitwa zvinhu kwete kuti sort of like tobva tapa pressure yekutoti zvinhu ngazvidai so tiri kuona kune mamwe maactivist futi vakafanana na Nyatsimba Mutota vanogara kwaMutare uko ana Jacob Ngarivhume ana Chichi Chimwaya. Nyatsimba Mutota akatotorwa akatoenda kupolisi, vaenda kupolisi ndofunga wakazoona kuti media yazonyanya kulauda watu wati Chichi Chimwaya because akareleaswa without charges without chinyi, akangobvunzwa mibvunzo yekutoti unoziya kubata pfuti here and so forth. Chichi Chimwaya chingobvunzwa zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana nepolisi. So tiri kuona Jacob Ngarivhume vakareceive parcel yakareceive vanga vastoripo panga paine mhuri yavo vakangosvika varume vanga vaine mota dzasina manamba plate vakasiya parcel iyo yairi kunzi yanga ine pupu yembwa nezvimwe zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana zvainge zviri mukati imomo netsamba yanga yakanyorwa noti nekombiyuta or what yanga yakanyorwa neruoko muri yeZimbabwe chinova chiricho chiratidzo chinoratidza kuti zvinhu hazvina kutombomira zvakanaka. So ndonhau dzatati takakubatire pano toda kuti munzwe makomrade tinawo pano ungotudzo zvonongochifunga mucomment section kuti unonga ari kufunga nenhau yeconstitutional amendment bill number 3. So regedzai timbonzwe murume uyu tisati aenda ikoko muri yeZimbabwe. Murume uyu anosota zvinhu zvisingatomboita asikudoto player anosota
kutamburwa kwomunhu musoro kana kuti kuurayiwa kwomunhu mushoko raMwari kana tomboti munhu atambudza nyika kana kuti achida kukonzeresa hondo munyika. Shoko raMwari haridzivisi according to the Bible. Romans chapter 13 inoti ari kurwa nesimba uri kurwa naMwari. Rinoti unoda kufadza simba here ita zvakanaka nokuti mambo haabate munondo pasina. Right, ndiri kutaura kodzero dzemunhu anonzi mambo, the father of the nation, kuti musi wa31 ziva kuti ukaona wakonzeresa noise according to the Bible musazoti pasina wataura politics akati vanhu ngavadamburwe musoro. Aiwa, ndiri kuti according to the Bible President Emerson Mnangagwa vari mupower yavakagadzwa naMwari. Ukavashupa unototenderwa kudamburwa musoro because vaRoma inoti mambo haabate munondo kana pasina mhosva. Saka president wenyika unotenderwa neshoko raMwari kuti adambure musoro womunhu. Asi vaMnangagwa vanogona kusada zvavo because igwai ndi mambo. Unoona pane kutungamira kwozoita kutonga. Nyika inoda kutongwa. South Africa uchiona vachipisa zvinhu vachitandanisa vanhu havasi kutongwa vaya vari kutungamirirwa. Ukafamba mberi kwevanhu unogona kuzotarisa kumashure vashiko ndokunonzi kutungamirira. But kana ukatonga vanhu unenge uchivatungamirira at the same time unenge uchivapa command kuti rambai muri pashure pangu. Vanenge vakanongedzerwa pfuti chii pfuti zvamboko zvinonzi neshoko raMwari. Kurobwa shamu yakagadzirwa musana webenzi. Go and check South Africa today. There is no peace. Kuri kuitwa zvinonyadzisa. VaRamaphosa chavanongogona kukumbira ruregerero pamike kana kuti pa press vachiti sorry Africa but simba rokutonga havana.
pakaipa mhuri yezimbabwe ndozotaura naandrew pasina wako but aritaurawo for sure south africa ichiri under colonization because simba checheyo president havatomborina kana simba havatomborina kana tikutoti akataura something but dai kwakurunzi kana kuti sort of like iri kutongwa kana kuti neda nechindi opumenyasa kuona kuti kutonga kwakamira sei because makaenda kunana europe kunana chii kune democracy but vanhu vazosviki pakuzoita zvavanoda sort of like munyika yesouth africa so ndo mamiriro akaita nhau dzetinadzo pano ndiwa andrew pasina vako wamamuri kunzwa murume anobhoya vanhu vazhinji so toda kuti munzwe makomborede vetinawo pano ungotudzawo kuti zvinenge zvakamira sei.
One who killed the grandfather. If we are to take the law strictly as it states, this guy would say, his crime, he saved his crime. He went to prison for it. So he has every right to inherit it. But the law doesn't just end at interpreting how or what the law says. It also thinks about how fair is it, how just is it, and you also use the rationale. So when somebody brings in a law in an illegal way or manipulates the system to achieve what they want, they cannot go ahead and benefit it, and then we say it's a done deal. A lot is going to be said to you by people who support this regime. It's a done deal, it's now into law, and you cannot just change the law by your opinion. It will then, if you want to change it, then go through the whole process like what we did. It doesn't work like that. That law does not stand. What is it said earlier? To say this is the beginning of an illegal government, from council to parliament to judiciary to executive to the legislature. It's not a matter of question. It's already illegal. They cannot go ahead and inherit after they have made that the person they are inheriting it from, so that they can benefit from it. If you want that case, I'm forgetting the name, but it's a very popular case in America. And how they dealt with those judges, they saw that he cannot go ahead and benefit. And that's how laws are interpreted, not just by what is written, but by also using rationale and reasoning. And this is where we are. We cannot just take things just because it's now written, it's now gazetted, it's now there, then we say it's a done deal. It's not. And from the action, it's not like what you said, Titus, earlier. Things don't happen spontaneously. There's nothing like that. Things are planned from the grassroots, organized. People are actually trained. The mindset needs to change. Evelyn, I will send you a book. In resistance, you don't negotiate with anybody. You don't raise any funds to send ambassadors who are going to sit down with the people you want to remove. You remove them, and there are steps to go about it. We cannot use our anger or our excitement to say this moment has brought us here. Now, tomorrow, let us go into the streets. We will be dribbled because these guys are also preparing for that. If we really want to organize, we need to stop resisting the knowledge that is there of how to resist a dictator. We need to get started and start working and not ignore the knowledge of people who have done it before, because we just want to create new things when we can just adopt and copy. Let's just copy what others have done, organize and start working on it. It might not happen tomorrow. It might take us a year, but we need to start and go through the process. By end of 2026, we should be ticking boxes. To say in July we started, now we are in December, here we are. We have done 1, 2, 3, 4. If we don't do that, if we don't give our goals, our targets, achievable timelines, everything to make sure that we know where we need to be by a specific time, we are not going to do it. Let's not waste time by arguing and doing other things, trying to convince each other to just go into the streets tomorrow. We need to be prepared.
Yeah, that's powerful, my guy. No, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hansi. You need resistance training, and I think those are the education that you guys have been doing. And you know what, Ongaba, I appreciate you because you are one of the guys that I've seen who loves reading and writing a lot, and you do send a lot of information, just like Dr. Tadini. I think this we are at a generation. Pani comment and Averenga before here, and Gajitara Shabuti, my previous generation, they did their thing, but Imimi Rugita say, what are we doing? Are we just a generation of failures? So when we are done, when we were gonna go back to Taura Kuti, when our kids and kids, the children of children, and they are going to narrate our history. How are we going to be remembered? Is there anything that we've done? I know there's a saying about Joshua Nkomo that always said, Kuti, I think he said something in the lines of that, Kuti, our country will not die as long as the young generation is around. That saying keeps on being said repeatedly. But then, generation yatirej, are we being overdone? Are we just being overlapped? These ZANU-PF people. Anonzan, Chris Msangwa is coming. I remember when I was in the UK. Achitaura kuti isusu takaenda kuhondo takanorwiza imi mukana muchida kutora it you need to do the same. These guys have openly challenged, this is the way it is. And sometimes you can bring all the technical qualifications and disqualifications of the law and what it says. But are you ever going to actually remove ZANU-PF NEMA technicalities? When you know...
So Titus, I've actually been lacking. There's something that I'm going to start tomorrow. Timing what is happening now. I'm going to do videos. I don't know what I'll be saying, but the opener will be, this is day number 1 of an illegitimate government in Zimbabwe.
Right.
And then I say whatever I say. Right. I will do it every day. If I don't, please hold me accountable, anybody who's listening.
Right.
If I get to 100 days and there's no action, you would have let me down. If we get to 1,000 days and we are still debating what we need to start doing, we are a useless bunch.
Absolutely.
We need to start now. And I will track the days. Day 1, day 2 of an illegitimate government in Zimbabwe. And then I say good evening or goodbye. Day 3 until a new country is formed. You will be shocked. We will get to day 10,000 because we don't want to take action. But I trust that it will not get
Absolutely. No, that's a brilliant initiative. That's a brilliant initiative. I think do it. And we share that thing around. I think any action that people can do to come together and say, because it's a Zimbabwean thing, guys. We only have one Zimbabwe, and that's the reality of it. There are a very few people, that crafted and pushed this thing for Cap 3 to come through. We all knew it. Like at first, I think there was a video here. Achitaura kuti pekutanga taitongoti majokes and stuff. We've always taken them and stuff. But now look where we are now. So I think it's a time when people just need to do action. So any action is appreciated and any action will amplify. I think that's what we just need as citizens to come through. Captain, can I let you come through?
Thanks, Titus. I think I would like to highlight one of the major changes from the bill itself that was presented during that 90-day period, and the bill that went into Parliament, and the bill that came out of Parliament. I think the major change, besides this whole extension of the term length and blah, 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 I think what Parliament went and did with the Justice Department is much, much more consequential. By separating the bench of the Constitutional Court and the Supreme Court and establishing a whole new constitutional office, the office of the Supreme Court Judge President, and separating those two benches, I think that's very significant. Also, in that same amendment that was done inside Parliament, it says that the Judge President of the Supreme Court can be appointed on an acting basis, and that acting Judge President can be any person who is qualified. It also could be a former judge, meaning to say that there is a possibility that Malaba might come back on an acting basis on the bench as the Supreme Court Judge President. I just wanted you guys to maybe look at that clause. Many thanks.
Yeah, I think this has been mentioned before, and you're right. It's a very significant, and I think what it does though, it concentrates power, because it concentrates power to the ma supremate. Because if you look at it, if the president is going to elect, and I think it does say you can also Pani, I think close you can elect 10 more senators. So what it does, I don't know, because for a constitution to come through, there has to be a need and a requirement. But why is it that we are already railing from saying there's so much power concentration, at the premium kumsoro candidate? Why is it that we are having a constitution amendment that concentrates power even more to the same people, to the same powers that be, that they can do? So, like, as you are saying, Captain, could judicial kwacho? So, how is that going to be, if our voices has been taken, if our rights has been taken from electing our president, now that he's gone to a few parliamentaries, right? And if he can choose also that judiciary, if he can separate those powers, how is it going to affect an ordinary Zimbabwean? So, like you rightly said, there is a lot of things that I feel are very dangerous to a country, to any democracy of a country, where you guys, you just not have a voice. Your voice is, my voice is then they will just be stopped, and there's nothing you can do about it. That is if it goes ahead. But it's a good shout. It's a good shout. Can I go to Todd? Todd
Yes,
Imbo.
Maforimbo.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much. If you look at our generation right now, we have been conditioned from an early age. We are the generation that grew up understanding that education is key. You have to learn and go as far as you possibly can. ZANU-PF has made us very intelligent to the extent that we don't believe anything can happen without an education. You understand? But when you look at them that claim to have liberated us, they went to war at the age of 16, 17, as they claim. I don't think you've completed high school yet by that age. And those are the people with that level of knowledge that are leading us. We have been conditioned to respect our elders. We've been taught to be diplomatic in everything that we do. And it's, unconstitutional or it's disrespectful to challenge your elders. You can't challenge your government. You can't challenge your president, And it's not even the government that stops you or ZANU-PF that stops you. It's your neighbor, it's your brother, it's your sister, for fear of you losing your life or them losing their lives, But that in itself is what stops us from being active. So ZANU-PF doesn't fear academics. They've gone out there, they've recruited their own. Look at how they're running circles around us in all these courts. If you remember, ED was very clear. We are the courts, we are the police, we are the army, we are the everything. ZANU-PF is everything. So the only way, from my perspective, that we can start challenging them is by exposing them publicly and internationally. I know people have brought up the idea of actually going to Zimbabwe, meeting with them, talking with them. They expect that. That's what they want. And when you get there, trust me, if you send 10 people, I can guarantee you 8 of those people will then be given offers of farms, of money, of gold, of diplomatic posts, and all the rest of it. And that will be the end of it. Right. If you look at our situation right now, what has happened in South Africa, where I'm sure there'll be millions of Zimbabweans going back home. You understand? Those are all remittances that are no longer coming back to the country. There's going to be a strain. And I think this CAB 3 was timed, like in such a way that among all this confusion, right, we can't even be heard. We can't even voice. We can't even unite together because we have other things that we're dealing with. Even amongst ourselves, we're looking to someone else to step up. We're looking at someone else to take the lead. I mean, I'm happy, more than happy, to be part and parcel of a movement that is actually going to just expose this to whoever. You don't know what blow will land. Right now, Zimbabwe is trying to rebuild its international image. I mean, it's the best country to visit. You understand? Because we're rebuilding, we want to be readmitted to the Commonwealth, we want to do this, we want to do that. We are mending relationships with the international community. But does the international community actually know the ins and outs of what's actually happening on the ground? Do they understand our plight? Do they understand how we're suffering? I mean, like, even if you go to Zimbabwe, there's certain areas of Zimbabwe. You go Kunana Borodale and all those other, plush areas. You think you're in the USA or somewhere else. Just cross the road and head where I come from Kadoma. You understand? You think, I mean, like you're in the middle of what's it called? Iran or something. Buildings are being demolished, destroyed. We are being called dirt. I don't understand how a government can call its own citizens China. But a lot of these people that have built have actually gone through the legal processes to build, only to be told that some corruption happened at high level, and guaranteed that corruption has happened in ZANU-PF. And this is how these guys keep us busy. They want us to focus, and they keep us focused on the bread and butter issues. We don't even think of the future issues. We don't think of generational issues. We're thinking of daily issues, and we need to start changing our mindset. I'm more than happy, like I said, to work with the people that feel disgruntled like I do, to start to expose these things, to head. I don't mind going head on with ZANU-PF. I don't at all, because I've lost more than I will ever gain to ZANU-PF for the rest of my life. I've lost property. I've lost family members. I've lost my own freedom. You understand? What more can I lose? And am I prepared to give up my children's heritage? You understand? So I think we need to rethink, as academics, as activists, as civilians, as citizens of Zimbabwe, right? That country is ours as a nation. Maybe there's 17 to 21 million of us. I don't know how many there are right now. But as a speaker that spoke earlier, it said there's about 1,000 people who are literally running that country. 1,000 out of 17 to 21 million. We have been conditioned, like I said, it's the education that has conditioned us to not challenge, to act within boundaries, to act within bounds, to act within certain guidelines. Zimbabwe is not it's not like any other struggle that I've ever seen. It's not like any other country. Zimbabwe is unique, because they've mastered the art of, like reining in intelligence, reining in aggression, taking control of the most prominent, instruments of the state, and they are running them, just the 1,000 of them. So what is it that we are going to do? I'm prepared to demonstrate, face on, debate, whatever needs to be done to bring the attention to what's happening with ZANU-PF, because at some point they are going to be embarrassed in the international community. That's the only way ZANU-PF will bow down. But thinking we can face them just from Zimbabwe, that's not going to change anything. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Todd, for that. Very much so. I think that is what we want. People willing to do things. People willing to get into action in whatever capacity that you can do as an individual. I know, my guy, that you're involved in, quite a few things in terms of promoting and stuff. So please get in touch in the background. There's a lot of things that we plan to do as citizens. And some of these things, obviously, they are not planned here on X openly. But trust me, behind the schedules, behind the scenes, there's a lot of things going on. So yeah, please do get in touch. But thank you for your submission. Can I go to the is it Tot Manik? Then after that, we go to the physicist. Tot Manik, 26. Okay. Can I try the physicist?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So I'm not Zimbabwean, but I've been listening for some time now to your conversations as Zimbabweans. And if I'm being honest, like from my observation, I don't think your situation is gonna change anytime soon. Let's be really, really honest. The type of situation that you're dealing with, it requires something that.
Where are you from? Where are you from, my bro?
From South Africa.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. So the type of situation that you're dealing with, it requires something that most of you are not willing to give. You understand? It requires people to die, because if you're gonna go fight your government, of course you're gonna die. Some people are gonna die for you to get your freedom, and no one wants to die. Let's be honest. But